guys, I'm Diane and this is Narrow Dreams. This is just going to be a quick video today, just a bit of a catch up on where we are, and I'm after some advice if you can give me some. So any comments that you've got, if you put them down below, then I can see them and act on them if necessary. So we've got the signing of the contracts on Tuesday, and then completion of the house sale is, or has to be, 4 weeks from then. It can be sooner, but it has to be 4 weeks from then, and at that point we will be going down to Braunston, moving on to our boat and bringing it back here. So the purpose of this video today is we're sort of getting rid of loads of stuff. We're taking some stuff that we're not sure if we'll need into storage, and once we get the boat back and we know what we can fit on it, we'll make those decisions then. But we know there are a lot of things that the boat doesn't have that we're going to need for the journey home. There's lots of other things we're going to need, but if we don't need it for that journey home, we'll wait until we get back to our home mooring. So we will need an anchor, chain and rope. We've seen sort of the sort of thing that we're looking for at Midland Chandlers, but if you've got any experience of you know, different types of anchor, you could give us an idea of what's best. We are coming back down the tidal Trent, which is why we need an anchor, obviously. We've not had a good look at the boat as well, in terms of where we would attach the anchor when we need to, when we're travelling down the river. So any advice on that, where you sort of tie yours on, would be useful as well. We're going to check all the ropes and replace them if needed, because obviously we know that there are ropes there. It's currently moored up with the ropes, but we don't know what condition they are because we haven't examined them. So if we need to, we will get some new ropes. So, you know, recommendations on the size of rope would be good. What length is sort of best to cover us for all eventualities and whatnot. We will as well, because we're travelling on the Trent, we're going to need life jackets. So we're going to get, I think, the self-inflating ones that right you in the water if you're sort of unconscious. Obviously we're not going to wear those all the time, but they are for the river really. So, you know, give me some feedback on that if you've got those type of life jackets. We did wear those on our training weekend, and they're very unobtrusive, they don't get in the way, so we thought, you know, that's a good way to go. We saw that on the boat when we looked, there appears to be a boat hook, but it only looks to be about 6 foot long, plus it's quite a hefty one. So we thought we might get one of the lighter weight sort of aluminium ones, just in case we have to fish anything out, you know. And we'll need a pole. I know that at Midland Chandlers they do an 8 foot and a 12 foot pole. We thought the 12 foot would be better, but you know, I would be grateful for any advice on whether you think that's long enough or whether we need to look somewhere else and get something longer. We haven't got a gangplank, and we have got an old dog, so I'm thinking that maybe a gangplank might be an idea. I mean, we might not need it at the marina. We might be able to sort of, you know, moor up in a way that is easy for the dog to get on and off, but obviously coming down unfamiliar canals and rivers and things, we're not going to know. So we thought that might be an idea as well, to make sure we've got a gangplank. Do we have, most boaters I've seen have the life rings. Do we need one of those? It hasn't currently got one, I have got it on the list to buy. What's your opinion? Do you think that's necessary or not? I mean, we'll probably get one, but I'd just be interested in your thoughts. On the boat there is a big plastic box that's full of mooring pins. It's got nappy pins in, it's got a mallet in, it's got lots of different sort of mooring equipment, but you know, we're going to have a good look through and see if any of it needs replacing, if we've got enough. I don't think there are any chains. We quite think that the ones where they've got a smaller ring at one end and a bigger end to go around the Armco, that looks quite a good idea, and I don't think there are any of those, so we might get some of those. What would you say are the sort of minimum number of mooring pins you're going to need? We've also got a couple of windlasses in there. Is that enough? Should we get a spare in case we drop any over the side? What you know, what would be your advice on that? There is a hose on a reel there, so we will check before we leave that it's got all the fittings for attaching to the taps and that sort of thing. And you know, obviously, if we need to get anything for that, then we will do. Maps, I've got that on my list, but we've actually got all the maps we need now, really. We've got the Nicholson's guides 1 through to 6, and we've also got a full waterways map of the whole network. We've also got the tide tables and the map for the tidal trent, showing us where all the sandbanks are and which bits of the bridges to go through and all that sort of thing. So hopefully that will be enough. And we're also going to be using the Canal Planner app, which has planned out 2 possible routes for us, and we're going to make a decision on which one is best to take at the time, because with the weather as it is now, don't know how much it's going to change in 4 weeks, but obviously water levels are dropping and things, so we will look and see which we think is the best route to take at that time. So again, any advice on that, how you're finding it at the minute, would be good. I've got on my list loo fluid, and when we've looked, there's the pink and the blue, and ours is just a Thetford porta potty type. I think we are going to change that, but at the minute it's a Thetford porta potty type, and we will keep that obviously for the journey back. So do we need the pink and the blue? What's each one for? You know, we are that new and inexperienced with this. Obviously I can do some research, but if you guys can tell me, that would be great. I've also seen mention on a lot of the Facebook groups and in magazines and things about water tank cleaner. Obviously we don't know how long the water tank has been unused for. We don't know when the boat was last used. It wasn't up for sale for long, but that doesn't mean it was in continuous use, does it? It's a stainless steel water tank, so I'm hoping that if we get it thoroughly cleaned out and treated and whatnot, then we can use it for drinking water if we want to. Again, you know, opinions on that would be greatly received. But have you used a water tank cleaner? Which one did you use? How do you use it? Is it effective? Is it a job worth doing? Or are we better just buying bottled water until we can get back and get it sorted? You know, we're open to advice here. This is the purpose of this video, actually. We thought we'd better maybe get some engine oil and an oil filter, just in case, just to have as spares. Are there any other spares that we should have just for that 10-day journey. Obviously we'll get ourselves sorted once we're back in the marina, and we can really have a look round and sort things out. But you know, for a trip of 10 days from Braunston down to the Stainforth Kidby Canal, what spares would you think we need? We've got sort of basic tools, and we'll have a look through exactly what we've got before we set off and get anything that we think we might need. So you know, that's a sort of an ongoing job to find out what we need and what we've got, sort of thing. We've also been told on the survey that the stern gland will probably need repacking soon. It's dripping a little bit. It didn't say it was excessive and it's not an urgent job, but we thought we could maybe get some stern gland packing and grease, because we're going to have to eventually anyway, just in case it sort of got worse, sort of under strain when we're moving, and we thought it needed doing en route. So I'd like your opinions on that as well, really. I mean, it looks an easy enough job when we've looked at it on YouTube, and we've got a book on engine maintenance and things, and it looks an easy enough job, but again, we haven't done it, so we don't know. So you know, your experiences would help us out a lot. And the last thing I've got on there is fuel additive. I was reading an article in Waterways World about travelling on rivers, and it said it's a good idea to add fuel additive, because obviously you don't want your engine overheating and stuff, or you know, getting into any difficulty when you're on a tidal river. So we thought, you know, do we need to add that to sort of force out any water that might be in there? So again, opinions on all these and advice welcome. We are absolute newbies, as most of you will know if you've been watching the other videos. We've had a couple of hire boats, we've had 2 days training on a 57-foot narrowboat, but other than that we are complete newbies, having done a lot of research and a lot of reading, but no actual you know, experience of doing it ourselves. So please, you know, if you've got any advice, if there's anything that you think we need to add to our list of things we've got to get, or you know, things that we've got to do, then we would be most grateful. If you want to follow our journey, click subscribe on the channel. If you've liked this video, give us a thumbs up. Obviously future videos will be us coming back, and when we are coming back, the 10 days or so from Braunston to Stainforth and Kidby, then we will hope to do a video every day of our journey, so you can see how well we're coping and how it's going. So as I say, subscribe, click the icon to be notified of new videos, and you'll be able to follow us on our journey. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time.